All right, let's talk about comparing arrays. So here we have two arrays with identical values. Now to compare them, once again, we have to loop over them and compare each element separately. Let's see what happens if we don't do this and instead compare first with second. Here we can print equal. Now look, we have a warning that says condition is always false. Why is this happening? Well, you remember that earlier, when we accessed our array using its name, we saw a hexadecimal number that represents the address of our array in memory. So let's print first and second and see what we get. So look, we get two separate numbers. They almost look identical, but look at the last two digits. Here we have FC, here we have F0. So that is why the compiler said that condition is always false. So now to compare these two arrays, here's what we're going to do. We're going to use a for loop to iterate over either of these arrays. It doesn't matter which one. I'm going to start with the first array, so we get its size. Now, before we start our comparison, we can assume that these arrays are equal. Now we are looping over the first array and comparing each element at a given position with the element at the same position in the other array. So if first of I is not equal to second of I, that means at least one of our elements is different. In this case, we set R equal to false, and there is really no need to compare the other elements. We can simply break out of this loop. Okay? Now let's test our implementation. So I'm going to print using bool alpha the value of R equal. Now take a look. Our arrays are equal, but if we change one of the values to something else, then we see false.